And welcome to the Monday, June 15th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Wait for the stream to catch up here. Okay, there goes that one, and there goes. Okay, all right. I think we're good. I'd like to know how much that cuts off. One of these days, I'm going to have to leave the sound on one of them just to see how much that good morning, that opener. Uh, Hope you guys have had a good week. Good morning, Tony. Hope you're doing good, bud. It's been just another week here. Nothing special. Wife started kind of, sort of, off and on smoking again. And, well, due to the price of gas and food and everything else, she still refuses to buy my cigars, but she'll buy her cigarettes. And, well, I just finished uh, rolling up my last cigar butt. So you'll be seeing me on America's Most Wanted or hanging on the wall at a post office near you very, very soon. Good morning, Cher. Hope you're doing good. Let me see here. Tony, how are you both? And did you have a good week? Um, yeah, not too awful bad. Can't really complain. Oh, oh. I've come to realize cutting back like I did to try to make those butts last. I hate the taste of food, hate the taste of coffee, hate the taste of everything. Was so much happier in life when I smoked. I'm on the laptop tonight. But get off of it. Those things aren't made that good anymore. Remember when they used to be made out of metal? Oh, goodness. Had a terrible, terrible night last night. Woke up at not quite 3 o'clock. My stomach was tied in knots. I uh, I had to make a beeline for the main bathroom just outside the studio here because I wasn't about to go in our bathroom and then my wife wake up after I go back to sleep and walk into that wall of ick. But it was terrible. I don't know what was going on. It was it was bad, but I haven't felt very good the last couple of days. I went out and overheated myself a little bit uh, Saturday. Went out and took care of the yard and done all the weed eating and picked up all the sticks and did everything while she slept and the kid played her computer game. I've come to realize it's probably a good thing that my mom and dad live 800 miles away. I'd be living under a bridge right now if they were close enough to say something. Oh, that's of course, more harassing about the eye healing up, about going back to work, about helping out. I had to wear my super dark shades. Now you can see how I definitely don't keep it bright in here because, well, I don't want to sit here and be nauseous or try to get up and stumble because my equilibrium's all thrown off and stuff. The doctors don't want me wearing the eye patch, but if I leave this eye exposed, then it throws off my balance, my equilibrium, makes me, well, kind of like what, 2 Decembers ago when I fell walking to work because this eye was all boogered up and I could still see out of this one. Oh, wound up bruising my shoulder when I from where I hit the concrete and everything else. So same situation now. The eyes are just reversed. This one's good and this one's messed up. Tell you what, we're gonna try the other glasses. See if maybe they'll help a little bit today. Well, they help the right one. Make things a little bit clearer up close. But enough about me. How was y'all's week? What you been up to? Been doing anything fun? Man, everybody's so talkative. What's that say? There we go. Dodging severe weather. About the same here. Out of the last 4 days, um, we've had something. Yesterday was probably the best day of all of them. Ever since Thursday, when the initial storms came through, and well, we had two decent sized tornadoes in Indiana. One of them just, 10 miles from here, went right through the kid, her son and his wife and the granddaughter's home or town. Uh, I still haven't seen the pictures to find out how bad the damage was, but they said that it moved, it dropped between Elkhart, Indiana, and their town and rolled right through their town. So no clue how bad it was. The other one was over um, close to south of Michigan City and LaPorte and stuff like that. Came out of Illinois, and I did see drone footage of that one. It was pretty bad. Had combines and stuff flipped over. Had grain bins caved in. Houses that houses that look like they had just laid the foundation but hadn't started building the houses yet. I mean, just completely cleaned the house off the foundation. That one there was pretty bad. Big Ben, what up, brother? Raining cats and dogs. That's what it's been doing here. Yesterday was our first day since Thursday. We've not got tornado sirens going off and rain coming down buckets, and it's been pretty rough. Excuse my typos. I'm stuffing my face and the keyboard isn't right in front of me. Plus my nails are too long. I need to cut them again. I've been there. I know how you feel. Oh goodness. I know how you feel. It's murder on us to keep our nails pretty and stuff like that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Man, you can keep that right there. Oh God, yeah, we've had enough. Have had some real nice weather here. Mm, good morning. Good morning, Santee. Hope you're doing well this morning, bud. Well, it says we got 8 folks in here and we got like 4 talking, which means we got some lurkers and some listeners. Hope y'all ain't listening for my voice because it's barely there. So, and only if there is a good electrical storm to go with it. Yep, I got to agree with that. The other night, Thursday night, when the storms and stuff first hit, the first time the tornado siren went off, I grabbed my phone, had my phone on my NOAA Doppler radar. I went out back, enlarged it so I could watch the hook on the leading edge of the storm. The lightning that I was seeing directly west was absolutely incredible. I seen pink lightning, I seen blue lightning, I seen, just normal white lightning. Wish I was drinking some white lightning. It was absolutely incredible. The collars that I was seeing, and all out of one storm. Good morning, David. Good to see you, bud. Oh, back up here. Tony said something important about antennas. I got tired of disconnecting my radio antennas every time a storm threatens. Good morning, David. Good to see you, bud. I'm looking at some penne pasta soon, with or without meatballs. It's always better with meatballs. David, here, Ben, I'm having sliced cheese and tomato on toast. The only thing it's missing is a hamburger underneath it. Don't wish for alcohol at all anymore. Well, I mean, since I'm being forced to not smoke, I need something to like, I need something. And, since she's refusing to buy my cigars, but yet she's still smoking in front of me, each and every step I take brings me one step closer to, got to come up with a good name like the History Killer, or something like that. We've had the Zodiac Killer, we've had the History Killer. I remember the last time I got hammered and I didn't like it very much. Like, man, David, I did have a hamburger a day or two ago. Cigar deprivation psycho. That's what it's turned out to be. Oh, hey, Squatchy. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, that's exactly what it's turning out to be, is the cigar deprivation killer. It, 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 it wasn't too bad because I was making my cigar butts last, and I was just re-rolling them and just hitting them. And then I realized that it didn't take long to go through that many cigar butts because it takes two of them to make a decent smoke. So, you know, it only took me 4 days to go through the ones that I had. And then I go outside yesterday to help her carry a few things in, and she's standing out there smoking a cigarette. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's just, you know, now I just want to push you in front of a bus. My local fish and chip shop does a good burger with a lot. Oh, nice. Same here in Cloud. Love a good deli burger. There is nothing wrong with a good burger, and especially one you don't have to cook. Now, I don't know if you guys have the same issues over there, but I have noticed that the burger that you buy, the ground beef that you buy in the store to make a burger at home, tastes completely different than the ground burger that comes into the restaurant to be made into a burger. They are completely different tastes. I know I started noticing this a couple of years ago, because up here at the bar where I worked at before the pizza place, we had pre-pattied burgers that came in. There was five of them in a pack, and you just open it up and you'd put it in the cooling table. Just grab a patty off, throw it on the grill. Well, that was pretty much my everyday thing. Either one of my big Texas burgers that had the onion rings and the deep fried jalapenos and barbecue sauce. But yet, when I came home and tried to make a burger, the ground beef always tasted different. And I'm really honestly believing that it's the preservatives that they put in the burger, because, well, when you get we have a company over here called U.S. Foods, and then we have one called GFS, Gordon Food Service. And when they patty out those hamburgers and they seal them in those packages, they're good for months. They're good for months as long as they're kept frozen. And the stuff you buy in the store, it's, I don't know. There's just something different about it. and it's got to be the preservative because it's 100% pure ground beef. Brisket burger with Angus beef patty, bacon, egg, and sauce. You know what's funny? I can make a hamburger steak and an egg and enjoy that for breakfast, but I cannot put an egg on a hamburger on a bun and call it a meal. And I really wanted to because I love trying recipe ideas from other countries and stuff. But I've tried it more than once. Tried different seasonings on the eggs. Tried not to put all the extra stuff on it. Hey, it just don't taste the same to me. It don't taste right. There's something about an egg on a hamburger. I will have to start buying beef again. So I am out of hamburger altogether. Nearly out of everything else. So we are too. We are too, and she won't pay the price for hamburger. I mean, it's not where it was last year. A little over $9 a pound, but she still won't pay over $4 a pound for it. Yeah, the frozen patties taste really different than they used to. It's different processing at the slaughterhouse can taste the difference between home kill, butcher bought, and supermarket bought. They all taste different. That's exactly how it seems here. You're missing out. Ben, it's not a burger without beetroot. Now you're scaring me. You're coming up with weird stuff here. What is a beetroot? I mean, is it actually the root of a beet? What is beetroot? Got have it with bacon and all the goods. The blend of taste is not now. See, if I'm having just a hamburger, I agree. The onion, the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the bacon, everything. It's just the idea of throwing an egg on a hamburger, which is dumb because, like I said, I can put I can have a hamburger steak for breakfast in the morning and have an egg with it. But there's just something about putting an egg on a hamburger sandwich. It just don't taste the same. Maybe it's all mental. Maybe it's all mental. The beet is root. Beetroot is a purple, or is the purple. Oh, okay. Oh, beetroot is beets. All right, I got you. Never had that, but I love beets. I might like it. My grandma used to grow beets, and she'd can them. And most of my best childhood memories are eating her beets straight out of the mason jars. And she had the she had the sweetening. She had everything down perfect. After 50 years of doing it and being like the fourth or fifth generation that's done it. I've never liked eggs with hamburger, not so long as bacon exists. Hate beets. Egg is what blends everything together on a fully loaded hamburger. Huh. Maybe, I don't know. It just didn't. Each their own, I guess. Just didn't taste right to me. I really wanted it to taste right. Uh, Once as a kid, I got sick after eating too many pickled beets and could not stand the things after. That might be, yeah, that might be why. A burger with the, oh man, that thing jumped too fast. A burger with the lot here has sliced cheese, egg, bacon, patty. Ooh, who's patty? Lettuce, tomato, grilled onion, pineapple if you're silly enough, sauce, salt and pepper. Oh, okay, all right. If you're silly enough to put pineapple on it, but we're discussing putting an egg on a hamburger. Again, I love pineapple, love ham. Do not in any way, shape, or form believe that ham and pineapple go on a pizza or a hamburger or anything else except on your Easter table. And beetroot too. Word, I use my teeth. Prefer my burger with onion and tomato on a bun. On a grilled sesame seed bun. Oh yeah, gotta have the sesame seeds. I'm just allergic to pineapple. Ain't a fan of hot pineapple. Love pineapple though. I'm really not either. That's probably why I'm. To me, it's the same as like lettuce on a Mexican pizza. I don't like or on a not just a Mexican pizza but a taco pizza. You know, I hate it when they put the tomato and the lettuce and the sour cream on there while it's still boiling hot because then the sour cream starts to break down and melt. The lettuce starts to get real flimsy and loses its crunch. Tomato, heat don't bother a tomato all that much. But there are just some things that just don't taste quite right when they're hot. um, don't mind the ham cooked with pineapple, but I don't touch the pineapple itself. If it ain't Italian pizza, I don't want it. I can agree with that. Nah, to be honest, I really can't now that I think about it because I try all kinds of pizza. I make all kinds of pizza. Well, I made all kinds of pizza back when I was useful. Um, I lost my train of thought now. How about that? Um, yeah, I've made all kinds of pizza. I've made Italian pizza. I've made American pizza. I've made pizza with brisket on it. I've made my own version of a taco pizza. I have made chicken parmesan. I have made chicken bacon ranch. I have made uh, my buffalo pizza, my buffalo chicken pizza. I mean, I have made all kinds of pizzas. Breakfast pizza, dessert pizza. However, I would love a Drew's special pepperoni and super spring pizza. Well, one day, one day. I just did an egg. I just did an egg. Oh, egg sandwich. Egg sandwich. I just done an egg sandwich yesterday on toast and tomato. It was pretty damn. Yeah, yeah. On what's wrong with an Aussie pizza? I have some good pizza bars around me, and it's good stuff. I like going to different locations and trying different people's pizzas. You know, the difference in how they make their dough, the ingredients they put in their dough, the things they put on the pizza, how they arrange the things on the pizza, the type of sauce they use, whether they use regular sausage or Italian sausage. I should have been a food reviewer, gone into restaurants and, just reviewed the restaurants. Nothing like a cold piece of leftover pizza for breakfast. Eh, that's what my wife says. Wife and daughter both. They'll get up. What's really sad is I keep having to remind them of the rapid growth of bacteria when you have a hot pizza and you know you just leave it sitting on the counter or the stovetop all night long. You don't put it in the fridge. You don't do anything. Then they go out there first thing and eat it cold. It's like, my God, will you at least warm that thing up to a temperature that kills the bacteria? Christ, people, you are one pepperoni away from food poisoning. Stick it in the microwave. Let me see here. Cool pizza. I'm surrounded by food. I wish I was surrounded by food. I can't eat any more food since since my lovely axe murderer. Um, I should say my spiritual axe murderer. Um, Made me start progressing towards not smoking. Um, I've been eating like crazy, and to the point where I've almost made myself sick. And so, yeah, I don't want no more food. I don't want food around me. Air fried leftover pizza. Never tried it in the air fryer. Just throw it in the microwave for about a minute, and it comes out just bubbling. Around here, the best pizza comes from Casey's. We have Casey's here too. Believe me when I say best pizza comes from my own stove. Yes, gas station pizza. There's only one pizza shop here, and only ordered once from them, never again. Wow. My missus loves cold pizza too. I make good home, maybe pizza as well. I make, oh yeah, definitely. Not me, buddy. I would love to try different types of pizza or going out filming at different locations. It's good for when I have the munchies. So many options. Sometimes I'll stick in the microwave for a few seconds. There's hardly any food that I would cook in a microwave. New Haven, Connecticut, where I used to live, literally has a pizza place on every corner. A few of them date back to the 1950s. East Coast and West Coast, that is the war. That is the war. If you guys have any access whatsoever to um, the Roku channel on Roku TV, go onto the Roku channel and look up the pizza show. The host of the pizza show is a younger guy. His family's from New York, and he travels all over the country, going to different little pizza locations like Chicago and L.A., Colorado, and tries out different pizzas made different ways from all over the country. And it's fascinating to see the ongoing guff between East Coast and West Coast pizza. New York style pizza versus Chicago style pizza, San Francisco style pizza versus New Orleans, white pizza versus a normal pizza. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jay. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good today. I live in Adelaide, and where I am, and Salisbury has a lot of pizza bars, more than I can poke a stick at. There's too many mean things down there. Don't be poking sticks. Last night I cooked cornbread with hot dogs in it. Thinking corn dogs, it sucked. Don't try it. Now the wife actually searched online until she could find a cornbread coating recipe, and well, that's how that's how she makes corn dogs now. No more big top uh, corn dogs in a box for me. Not at $17 for 10 of them, which is about a quarter of what 10 of them would cost you at the carnival or the circus. Actually, they're like $8 or $9 now, so it's almost 1/10 of what one would cost you. Um, and I do not ever use cheap hot dogs. Can't can't have cheap hot dogs on a corn dog. Just isn't it isn't culturally right. Stanford, Connecticut has best soft crust pizza. Yay. Fighting with trying to connect Bluetooth speakers to the laptop. It's not working. Which is really funny because I have a surround sound system just stored away in the closet, been there for 7 years. And I want to hook it up to my computer in here. So, I mean, I don't have to, you know. So when I listen to music or something like that, when I'm working on something, I could just let it jam. Don't forget, I'm one of them 80s kids. The louder the music was, the better, the happier I was. Jen, I like a good steak sandwich. Oh, God, tell me about it, man. New Haven is big into the wood fired brick oven pizzas. I don't blame them for that. I want to build a an oven outside so bad, so bad. You know, I could just start a fire in it. We could bake pastries in it. We can cook pizza in it. Just whatever. I'll just jump on here with my tablet as the headphones work with that, and I want to go outside for a smoke. I have 750-watt PA system here that I can hook to the server when I want to listen. Band made at painful levels. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, and I'll never understand that about, our generation. But I noticed last weekend at the beach bash, even though I was filming, the closer I got to the speakers, the happier I was. Then I started remembering back to school dances and prom and stuff like that, and I remembered the closer I was to the big old tower speakers, the happier I was. Which is, probably why I have a hard time hearing now because I used to spend every Friday night next to a 10-foot speaker that, when they played the music and the bass beat was going on, you could feel it in your soul. I'm still that way today. And I fired the thing up a week or so back and it still works well. Back in the day, music was meant to be felt. Hence the heavy bass beat, bass guitar solos, drum solos. Everything was much bassier back then than it is today. But I also believe music has lost that. You know, the long drawn out guitar solos. Even if you watch concerts these days, you don't have that band introduction thing like we used to have. On lead guitar is you know, hiding inside the drum cage is blah. I don't get it. I don't get it. But see, to me, music has lost that emotional. What am I looking for? David, Tony, you guys are both musicians. What am I looking for? What's that word? That grasp, that grip that it used to have on us. Back in the day when you'd listen to a song and it either made you sob or it made you just want to party or it made you want to fight or it made you want to something. Oh dear God. Do I have one hidden somewhere? I'm having a hard time with this, guys. Oh, Each of those things are included with band made. Probably why I love those five Japanese women so much. There's one place in New Haven that has vintage 1940, 1950 International Harvester trucks equipped with custom wood-fired ovens on the back, which are pretty cool. Well, how good can it sound good with a phone connection or resonating with the songs? I'm putting these back on. A little better. My goodness gracious. 8:46 a.m. Oh, hold on. Can't even get my back to pop this morning. Oh well. Man, look at my hair. I look terrible. A lot of newer songs lack the raw emotion and basic showmanship. I can agree with that 100%. It just, for some reason, and I've noticed it in recent years, probably, well, 26, 2016 would be a decade, maybe not quite a decade now. I have noticed that um, music seems like it's more production line and less production. It just seems like it's the same thing over and over and over. Every once in a while, every once in a while, a little something special slips through, but not very often. It just there's no emotion to it. It's just like it's production line stuff. Oh, um, I just measured my hair a few days ago. It's 14 inches long. Pretty cool. Now I decided to let mine grow back out. See, that's kind of sorta where I'm gonna let mine go to is right about my shoulders. Um, Getting somebody to help me shear my head every few days. Um, it's not worth the fighting and everything. In case you haven't noticed, there's not a lot of cooperation around here. Kid lays around and plays computer games and talks to friends in other countries. The wife lays in bed and sleeps and watches TV and goes to work. And I'm expected to keep the house and the yard and everything else up to par. I was really shocked. She brought me a pack of cookies last night. Yeah. A lot of lyrics are totally nonsensical. Yeah. My hair is down to my butt. I had to look at that twice. I thought you was talking about a hairy butt. It's not uncommon for me to sit on it. Your butt is a nice place to sit. Singers ain't storytellers like they used to be. Very true. Hey, Rob. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good. A lot of the old school rock songs could have been titled "Come On." Ah, sit on my hair. Oh, let me see here. Doing good. Guess who's living with me for a while? Did she come up there? I was wondering if she did. Can't listen to Kiss anymore because of that. Wait, what? Wait, what? Yeah, Rob, I'd still like to know what crawled up his butt. And just all of a sudden, like, I was just talking to him a week ago yesterday, and everything was a great big go for the wedding. All they had to do was wait a couple weeks, get the ring, and make it a go. He sat right there. He smiled. He chatted right along with everything. I thought he was a good guy. Pulled the wool over my eyes, too. When I saw that post yesterday, I think my jaw hit the floor. Just all of a sudden, to completely change face like that, just nope. I'll shut up for a bit. It's 10:53 here. It's 8:53 here in Connecticut. Yeah, it's a huge, huge shame, Jay. I was really saddened by that, and I wish that I wish it could have been different. But but that being said, I'm glad he showed his true colors now than waiting a year, 2 years after they got married and doing this then. I'm glad he did it now before he tied her down, and then yeah. Yeah, me and Lisa are here right now listening to you. Sometimes people just suck. That, my friend, is one of the greatest understatements I have probably ever heard in my life. Oh, I know she is, Rob. I know she is. She's in the best hands now that she could be in. And it's really sad when I first seen the message and realized what had happened. The first thing I thought is, my God, I wish we had the room here. But it's like we're going through clothes and blankets and stuff we want to get rid of and thin out the place a little bit. The couch is three-quarters the way covered. There'd be no place for her to sleep. She'd have to share a shoebox or the cat tower with the kitties, and they'll wind up pushing her little skinny butt off in the middle of the night because they don't like anybody on the same platform they're on. And they move all night long, so they might be on a platform, then move down to the top box, and then move down to the next platform, and just move up to the top of the box. Wouldn't be any place safe for her. Ralph would just eat her. Ralph will eat anything. He's like Mikey from the Life cereal commercial. Give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything. She'll wake up, have her foot be gone and stuff. Uh, Sucks. You get hands. Me, morning, Drew. Morning, TJ. Good to see you, bud. God. Tomorrow we're going to explore a graveyard and look for a celebrity grave. Are you sure Mikey didn't like anything? You are not going to believe what I just found. Oh, yeah, because their kids were shocked because he likes it. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. All right, everyone in chat. Yes, I'm going to get back in celebrity graves slowly. I'll be on a small. I'll be on a small hiatus, hiatus, hiatus on my channel, but I'm gonna be getting back into it through what's new. You'll see in just a second. I'm not gonna do this in front of you guys though, because regardless of how much I care about you, this is like still super freaking embarrassing to do. So, yeah. Boo, 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 boo. Most of us addicted to nicotine are aware. I know. It wouldn't be so awful bad if, she didn't just want to cut off something I have done for 40 years. That's like my mom and dad. Mom has suggested multiple times that they quit smoking, and they will try. The most recent one, of course, was the funny one where they tried to quit smoking, and dad and I are sitting outside while mom and my wife's aunt were all playing cards inside. And dad'll walk off to, go around the corner of the house, and he'll take 4 or 5 hits off a cigarette. And then I come to find out after they left and we went back home that dad and I would take a ride through town, and mom would get a cigarette off the girl. So after 63 years of marriage, they're sitting there trying to hide the fact that they're still smoking from each other, and it's actually quite funny. But I mean, the dad's 85 years old. He smoked for 78 years. He started smoking when he was 12. Mom is 80 years old. She started smoking when she was 16, and they're trying to hide this from each other. The wife's not trying to hide it from me. She just says, I ain't buying your cigars anymore. If you want cigars, find a way to buy them yourself. But then she smokes in front of me. By the way, Drew, I watched the Beach Bash video. Great job. Thank you, sir. I tried to make it somewhat entertaining. The band was good. The band was really good. Well, and see, I really honestly think it is because they were back home 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, before they were sitting out on the front porch smoking together again. So they managed to they managed to hide the fact they were still smoking for what, a month and a half from each other. Made it all the way through a vacation. They'd stop coming up from Tennessee, and at a rest stop or something, mom would go in to use the bathroom, and probably, in all honesty, walk straight through the building out the back door and have a cigarette. Then come back through the building, go out the car. Then dad would go in and have a cigarette. My cigars, they come in like little packs of four, and they're like $1.29 plus tax. Or my boxes, which have 75 cigars in them, they're what, $20 for a box of them. $20, $21, something like that plus tax. My so the reason I switched over to these is because they've got the flavor that I like, but also because they aren't taxed like, I don't know how many of you actually smoke. I know, Tony smokes. I know, Jan smokes, JJ, and but you're hit with cigarette tax here in America. But cigars and cigarillos, which are, small cigars, they aren't hit with that cigarette tax. So the wife can only buy 3 packs of cigarettes, and they cost $4 more for 3 packs of cigarettes, which, I'm sure it's the same over there as it is here. Each pack of cigarettes is 20 cigarettes. So she can buy 60 cigarettes, and it winds up costing her like almost $5 more for 20 cigarettes as it costs me to buy 75 cigars. I smoke. Wait, let me get back up here. I smoke double diamond menthol cigars. See, that's what mine are, is menthol. Um, they're about the size of 100s and come 20 in a pack and cost $3 a pack. Yeah, see, we don't have double diamond here. We have, damn, I can't remember the name of them. Can't remember the name of them. But, yeah, they're like 325, something like that a pack. But you wind up ripping the filter off of them to even enjoy them because they're not as flavorful as a regular cigarette or cigar. I smoke sausage. I'm almost scared to even think about putting it. See, I take that Monjero shot every Wednesday, and for the first 3 days, it makes me completely hate food. Just the thought of eating food makes me sick at my stomach. And the next 4 days, well, you guys know how much I love a hamburger. We've talked about it numerous times, including earlier. I can maybe finish one hamburger and a small dab of fries on my plate those other 4 days. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch. And then at dinner time, when you should be starving, you can barely eat. I smoke Marlboro 100s. They cost $13 a pack. Yeah, believe me. Cheyennes. Thank you, David. Yes, Cheyennes. Tony, I smoke Marlboro Black Gold. Ben, certainly. Not a regular shop. Um, Back when I smoked off-brand smokes, I woke up and coughed until I puked every day. Never happens with Marlboros. Yeah, cigarettes. Cigarettes in general does that to me. Um, but cigars don't for some reason. Now, don't get me wrong. If I take a big draw off a cigar and I start talking fast before I exhale all the smoke, then it'll mess with me. But used to smoke Marlboro Light 100s or Newports, but they got too expensive for me. Oh God, man, I remember. David, I know you're still a pretty young guy, but do you remember Newport Ice? I was smoking Newport Ice back in 1998, 1997, when I left for Texas. I was paying a dollar, $1.20 for a pack of Newports. Here we are, 28 years later, and those bloody things are expensive. I cannot believe what Newports go for now. And my dad smoked those. They had that icy cool menthol, and that's the reason I like these cigars. They've got that same icy cool menthol, that really strong, cool, cooling flavor. That's the reason I love them. I just don't like menthol. To each their own. See, I smoke for the flavor. I don't smoke for the nicotine. I can't just I can't just smoke a regular cigarette or a regular cigar. It's unfulfilling. I go straight for that menthol, that flavor. I used to smoke Lucky Strikes and Winston, but Marlboro Black are cheaper. My dad remembers when Newports were $20 a carton. I was alive. I was alive. But then again, I have seen a lot of changes in my. Well, let me think. This is the middle of June, July, August, September. I, I am 3 months away from 58 years old, y'all. I remember I remember going out and paying 75 cents a pound for hamburger. I remember going out with my mom to the store and buying a turkey for Thanksgiving and paying $5 or $6 for a whole turkey. Hell, I went out last Thanksgiving and tried to get a turkey for the family, and they were 30, 40, 50, $60. I tried Salem 100s a bit, but I couldn't do it. So that's what my grandma used to smoke. My grandma used to smoke Salems, and if they didn't have Salem, she'd buy Cools. Hell, I remember paying 6.53 a carton for Marlboro in Missouri. I'm 55 in September. My dad is 60. See, I told you he was a young feller. Me, me and Dad only 2 years apart. 6. I remember what? I remember paying 6.53 a carton for Marlboro in Missouri. That was 5 years ago. Who were you stealing them from? I am 65 in a few weeks. 65 still young. I'm not letting myself feel any older. I'm doing everything in my power to stay as young, at least as young feeling. That's why I got rid of the length and stuff like that. And I take a $300 a month payout. Can't stand Marlboro. They smell like hint and are too harsh. It's hard to get rid of the smell. I'm sorry YouTube wouldn't let you use my song in a video. I think I may have figured out the issue. Um, yeah, I think I might have figured it out too. I think um, it's actually listed under the production company, which means the feller that does all of your mixing and everything, it's listed under him. So even though you gave me express permission to use any one of your songs, it's kind of like a partnership. So, I mean, you're the writer and the performer, but he's the production company. So, I mean, I could go to Taylor Swift and Taylor say, "Oh yes, I would love for you to use some of my songs in your video." But the people that actually produce the music, they're the ones that have got to say. So, because I went back and looked at the emails again, I realized nothing was under TJ Holton. It was all under the name of the production company. And a month later, when the missus retires, she will make $550. She will take a $550 cut. Ouch. Things are going to become a bit thin here. Yep, that's the issue. See, that's how things are right now here, Tony. And that I can. I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't happy with her decisions, but I understand them. Since I got fired in November because of my eyes, it put a big cut on us, put a huge cut on us, and here we are 7 months, almost 8 months, and she is still doing, I mean, she's still paying the mortgage, she's still paying the all the utilities, she's still driving back and forth to work, and now she's got that Ford Explorer, so it drinks even more gas than the old one did. She's putting all the food in the house, she's doing everything. Mm. So I can understand the stress, but you don't you don't punish. That's a good word. You don't punish the people around you, especially the ones that support you, because you're feeling the stress and the strain. You're supposed to join in with them and find relief from the stress and the strain, or at least comfort. Maybe not relief, because there's no possible way that I can get out right now and do what I used to do with everything being Whopper Jam. I wish, here's a pair of them. For those of you who have never had cataract surgery, these big bulky things are what they want you to wear to block off the light from the disrupted eyes. Now, understand, I can't, hold on. It's dark. There we go. There we go. It's dark enough in here that I can barely see the light on that screen. I can barely see the light from this computer screen. And, the light that I've got over here, the one single light with the little 40-watt bulb in it. Everything else is dark. So, could you imagine me trying to work in these things? I would literally be walking to work, and it would be bright, and things would be, yeah, okay. But as soon as the sun went behind the clouds, or I got in the shadow of a tree, everything goes black. These things are dangerous. I mean, Light does not penetrate these puppies. Here, hold on. I'll see if I can make this work. That is how much light penetrates these things. Be restricted from work any longer. Produce, cover, but I will not be restricted from work any longer. Yeah, the 550 cut for the misses isn't nearly as bad as it sounds when we cut for $50 a month gasoline bill. Yeah, that's true too. That's very true. My grandma used to wear those. She had three pairs of them. I have two. One in here for when the sun gets really bright. So I've got most of this window blocked off, but because I have a fan right here, I've got to keep the window and blind up a little bit to just. Matter of fact, it only goes about halfway up the fan opened. But that light that shears through there, I have to keep a pair in here, and I keep a pair out in the kitchen so I can, if it's super bright out, yeah. But much like uh, this past week, ever since the thing last weekend, I've not left the house. I've not left the house. I could see through those fine. It's not a matter of not seeing through them. It's a matter of how dark everything is. Because the bright light coming through this eye, it makes all light just. I wish I could explain it. I don't even know how to explain it. The doctor understood when I say HD quality. It's like any light that comes into this eye. it- okay, look at the light spots on my face. If these light spots are like flashlight, like flashlight light, all of these spots are dark. So I'm seeing shadow, 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 flashy, bright, shadow, shadow, shadow. That's what it's like for me with this thing still messed up. And of course, the doctor. I really honestly think they're trying to avoid a malpractice lawsuit. They keep saying, "Oh, that's normal when you're dealing with an issue like that I had." Plus you've got the retinopathy growing in the back of that eye. So definitely keep on those eye drops 3 times a day until September, and then if it's not any better, then we'll look at alternatives. Yeah, there you go. That's it. It's like going outside on a bright sunny day with fresh snow cover. Every place the sun hits the snow, it sparkles and it shines everywhere. But behind trees and stuff like that, you've got those shadows. That's exactly, yeah, kind of like over and under exposure in photography. Beautiful analogy. I gotta put these back on, damn it. I just might as well face it. I'm at that age where I gotta start wearing at least reading glasses to be able to see things up close. Somehow I got a smear on there. Go figure, it was on the Good Eyes lens. So I spotted that puppy real quick. Like looking in a torch light, then closing your eyes, you still see the shadows and the light. Yep, that's it. For a short time, I am 100% snowblind. I can only see white. I'll tell you one of the really messed up things about this surgery. If I, how you just described the torchlight thing, if me and the wife are watching TV of an evening and I get up to go to the bathroom or something, I very seldom ever turn on the light. Is it just a guy thing? I mean, do we very do are we just gluttons for punishment? You know, we just never turn on the bathroom light when we go in to take a pee or something. But I get in the dark, I will still see the rectangle of the TV screen, the brightness, or when I close my eyes, I'll see like a blob of light. It does it now. I hate it. Yeah, see, I'm the same way, Tony. You know, we're at that age where we know where it is, you know, how what angle to point it at. I know I am no longer at that age where I gotta worry about accidentally closing it in the toilet seat when I put the seat back down. And before you say anything, Tony, I know you still have to worry about that, and that's okay. Hmm. That was inappropriate. Yummy, yummy. I don't know why, but for some reason, coffee is extremely good this morning. See, I was just, wait a second, difficult for me to see black letters on a white. See, that sounds like the way my cataracts was, David. It's like the white is so bright, it bleeds over the letters. So, but it's not as bad reading white letters on a black background. And it was still blurry, but it wasn't as bad as the opposite. But that sounds a lot like my cataracts. I don't have that issue now. It's, Well, like I said, if I want to walk around with my eye closed all the time, it's perfect. But that that 2 weeks between my two visits, my last most recent visits, this one was 2020 and this one was 70. And when I went back for the last visit, this one here was still 70. So, yeah. But I don't have to deal with that fogginess anymore. That was the rough thing, was dealing with that fogginess. Now it's just blurry. I can't see clearly from about 6 inches further than my arms reach and closer. Say, and that's what they said is I'm still now understand I've been wearing glasses pretty much since I was 12. So, you're talking 46 years that I've been wearing glasses. And I realized 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that glasses weren't needed if I was like driving a car or something like that. But trying to read, trying to sit close to a computer, something like that, everything was blurry. I can almost read the chat on this screen with this eye closed. Now, if I open it, it counterbalances everything and it kind of makes everything look blurry. But down here, um, yes, I have small cataracts in both of my eyes. Not a clue how they got there, but they're not big enough to be operated on. Yet I can look into a microscope without seeing them. It gets annoying. I never tried doing like a microscope or anything. Um, this one here, just all of a sudden, I started noticing that haze on things. And as days and weeks went by, it just got hazier and hazier and hazier. And then it was nothing but a haze. I mean, I could still see movement in the fog, but I couldn't make out what anything. I mean, I could make out it was a person or it was a tree or something like that. But if you asked me what kind of tree or who that person was without them talking, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Same with like a car or something. Um, Here, I'll give you one. I'll give you one that get a little kick out of. If I'm sitting in a room and I'm looking at a row of guitars on a guitar stand, if I'm sitting across the room and nobody moves them or changes the angle, I couldn't tell you a Les Paul from a Gibson at 10 or 12 feet away. Even the difference in the cuts on the body, um, it was so blurred I couldn't tell you what from what. Um, I have center sight astigmatism, but it only takes a bit of sharpness from my longer vision. Hmm. I don't know anything about astigmatism, so Like while driving, I can see the grass along the road, but with my glasses, I can see blades of grass, but then I can't read the gauges on the dash. Oh, I got you. Okay, that makes sense. I thought the microscope was broken. Nope, it was my eyes that were broken. Makes sense. Makes sense, and it sucks, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I'll be completely honest about it. I, uh, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Just knowing the agony that I went through, um, dealing with that stuff. I couldn't do it. Not and lay down that night with a clear heart. I couldn't wish that crap on anybody. I hardly wear glasses. Glasses do make things better driving at night, I will admit. And, and see, that's one of the funny things. When I had the cataracts, it seemed like I had better night vision until, like headlights popped up on the horizon, and it was like walking through the gates of heaven. Total darkness and boom, bright light right in your face. Took up 9/10 of the rest of the frame. Okay, it's 9:38. I've been drinking coffee since 7. I gotta go talk to a man about a horse or a P something on a horse. I don't know. I'll be back in a second. You guys talk real nice amongst yourselves for a second. If you like my body and you think I'm come on, baby, let me know. Um, I didn't say keep talking without me. Doggone it. I got to catch up. Uh, Glasses do make things. Driving at night. Oh yeah, and these newer LED lights are. Oh my God, tell me about it. Jeez, criminy. Which is why I spent the money and put them in the truck. I don't drive at night unless really have to. Too hard to see, especially on country roads with oncoming traffic. Yeah, you don't want to go home and have a wallaby stuck to your grill. They could be angry. Um, Tony, same problem with those LED lights. They blind you, and then if someone has their light bar on, good luck seeing anything. They turn it off. I come back from phone call with audio, and he leaves to use the latrine. Don't walk away. It's that simple. It's a podcast. It's not an audio book. Don't walk away. My night vision sucks. It's like psychedelic rainbow fog. Street lights or car lights shine in my eyes. I know exactly what you're talking about, my friend. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have a light bar, but I do have driving lights with the same LED bulbs. No one wants to see all four illuminated. Can't help when studio called, ask about out in the country areas. It's common to have light bars or spotties due to yeah, those wild roos that yeah, they can be vicious. Hey, you know what's better? You know what's better than putting on a coat you've not wore since last year and finding a $20 bill in the pocket? Walking by the table and seeing a cigar butt that you missed. And this one still has a lot of meat on it. Somebody must have been predicting the future. Yeah, you slide out of there in one piece. Why aren't you sliding out in one piece? Quit sticking to the leaf. It seems like it's been there for a while. That's awful dry. This might be a bushfire waiting to happen. If all of a sudden you see all my facial hair blaze up, somebody call 911. It's pretty dry. But much like Grandma used to say, beggars can't be choosers. hell, man? Stick. And before anybody says anything, no, I've never had to roll anything before. Let me see here. Um, Roos and wombats, you don't want to hit at all. They'll take your car out. Yeah, the LED headlights diffuse well. Extra 15, 200 yards clear vision. Never been to Australia, but I've seen videos. Them roos are no kangaroo jack. Nope. I mean, they'll kangaroo jack you up, but yeah, those things will those things will jump you, steal your wallet, beat the crap out of you, and then try to do nasty things to your anal cavity. They are not they are not happy little critters when you disrupt their normal their flow of life. A couple years ago, I bought a jacket from the op shop. Suspected spam. From the op shop, got home, and there was $200 in it. Pocket had torn at the bottom and it fell into the lining. Can't beat that with a stick, 'cause I guarantee that jacket didn't cost $200. So, Yahoo. And the driving lights are a bit of an angle matching the curvature of the front of the truck, light up both ditches as well. That shows 5,200. I got you. Well, I have hit 11 white-tailed deer and don't recommend that either. Yeah, they can, especially around here because they've eased back on the tags they're giving out each year. Because there for a while we were having a boom in the population, so they were issuing more tags. Well, then they started depleting the herds. And so then they cut back on the tags they were giving out. And now they're getting big. I don't know why, but for some reason, the farmers around here have not been rotating their crops as much, so you're not getting that corn one year, soybean the other. It's like they're doing corn for 2 or 3 years, and then they'll do soybean for like a year, then they'll go back to corn again. So our deer here in Michigan are getting fat, living on them little corn-fed diets. They can disembowel you with their claws if pushed far enough. I just stay clear of suspected spam or a ghost alert. If you like that ringtone, I can't find any really good spooky music for a ringtone. So I've got Ghostbusters Ecto 1, the wife's ringtone, or the wife's alert tone on here is a proton pack shutting down. You know, that whole pew. And I mean, you guys have heard that. That's just my regular message alert. Jacket only cost $5. See? Win-win. You spent $5, gained $195. Tony, you could have the deer. We got deer here, but I've only ever seen two one night and on the back roads of Walhalla. The herds need to be thinned a lot and hopefully not from chronic waning or wasting disease. Yeah, yeah, definitely so. Um, what is that? Disability, Cash Family Clinic, um, alert, 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 happy birthday to Rawside Paranormal, Cryptid Encounters, fun fact of the day, make mornings exceptional, don't send me McDonald's crap. I got an Arch Burger the first week they came out. That's the last thing. And that was the first thing in almost a year. Um, but I did not order a deer permit this year. Well, see, here you have to order your fishing license and small game, which go together, before you can get your large game. So you can't just order one. So if you want to hunt deer in the state of Michigan, you got to make yourself a hunting rabbit and raccoon and everything else first, and bass and crappie and pike and yeah. Um, Years ago, I had a Kevin Buddy Wilson song set, so when a certain mate called, it would play. Wonder why the screen keeps shifting. Might have to play with this computer today. There, now it's out. The deer and turkey permits are supplicant to the hunting license. Believe me, the turkey that we have around here, the wife was coming home last week before last, at she had worked 11 to 7, and she was coming home about 20 minutes after 7. She said she was driving down the road, and it was just starting to get a little light out and everything, and the sky in the east was starting to get a little bright, and she kept seeing these dark things go across the road. So she started slowing down. She thought there were deer crossing the road, and she was looking out in the field, and she didn't see any deer. They were turkeys, And we're talking big turkeys. We are talking, 15, 20-pound birds flying across the road. Kind of, sort of makes you want to go out and just shoot a bunch of them and clean them and process them and wrap them and freeze them and sell them. Because what turkey's going for in the store around here, turkey's like hamburger and gasoline. Getting to the point where you can't afford to go to a store and get ones, you got to find alternative methods of finding it. 40 or 50 years back, the state released turkeys to state parks for can hunts, and the bastards stuck. Yeah, see, they don't release anything cute like turkeys around here. DNR likes to release. For those of you who do not live in America, DNR is the Department of Natural Resources, a government agency, a government entity. They release bobcats, wolves, stuff like that. Things that were indigenous to this area before white settlement or European settlement. So they want to bring these animals back into their natural habitat. So we don't get anything cute, like a turkey or like minks or anything like that. We get predators. Now I got to admit, releasing the eagles was a good idea. We have mating pairs of eagles all over Indiana and Michigan now. The ones that don't get ate by wolves and bobcats. Gas has went back down a buck a gallon here. You're lucky. Me and Mom were talking about that yesterday, and they're paying like 3.39, 3.49 a gallon in Tennessee, and it's still over $4 a gallon here. We went from right at $5 a gallon a month ago to being down. It dropped like 40 cents slowly, week for week. It would drop uh, 7 cents, 12 cents. Then it'd go back up 2 or 3 cents, and it dropped 10 cents, and we're finally down to like that 4.39 area. There's a park near river that is completely loaded with wild turkeys. Some of the males are huge. Oh yeah, that's the way ours are here. In the 1950s, DNR here got the bright idea to loose coyotes. Indiana done that a few years ago, and a lot of them migrated north. Um, Now they beg for people to hunt coyotes. Farmers do it for us. Farmers do it for us, and the really sad thing is, I know people that sell hides, and these farmers will shoot them and just leave them laying in the field. And people like me would go out and shoot them and skin them and tan them, and the hides are selling for anywhere between $100 and $120 a piece, depending on the size of the coyote. Bald eagles, yes, bald eagles. The park is in New Haven, and there's also a few bald eagle nests in the park too. It will drop here soon now that there is a deal in Iran. I hope so, Tony. Um, I hope so. But here, a few weeks ago, when they were talking to the financial analysts, they said that if the war ended that day, we wouldn't see a drop in gas prices for over a year. And I can't help but wonder how long this ceasefire thing is going to last. If you'll remember right here, a few weeks ago, they done a ceasefire thing, and Israel fired on Iran during the ceasefire, and Iran retaliated, and then we went right back into the action again. Wasn't even in effect for a week. And Israel fired on Iran and got Iran all grumped up again. They started firing back, and we went right back into it. So I'm wondering, to say the least. Um, New Haven also has, but I missed that. Um, Both sides say there is a deal. Here you cannot hunt deer with a 30 or 30-06, but you can still use any rifle you want. Yeah, this is a treaty, not a ceasefire deal. I hope it sticks. I really do. It would be very nice to see something significant happen. I didn't tell you could shut off. Oh yeah, you can use anything here to hunt coyotes. It don't matter. Iran says the strait will open tomorrow. Very cool. It needs to. It needs to. We need to put an end to these hostilities and got enough crazy crap going on in the world. We don't need to add to it. But it's that time, kids. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. A time for me to be like a whole bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. So good spending time with y'all. I'm gonna go on a butt hunt. Gotta be some more of them around here. But you guys all have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll catch you next Monday. Same fat time, same fat station. And we'll catch y'all next Monday morning. There's a big one right behind you. Yeah, you ain't gonna get a bigger butt than that, bud. Well, not what the wife says, but anyway. Y'all take care. Much love, and we'll see you in a week. Bye.